Hello, my name is Oliver Aridi, and this is Wednesdays in the Word. So the average person has around 6,000 to 12,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of those thoughts are negative thoughts. Now, where do these negative thoughts come from, and why are they the majority? Well, Romans 8:5-6 says, "Those who live according to the flesh have their mind set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their mind set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace." Since we're born into sin and we're born in this world, our minds are automatically wired to desire these things that'll bring pleasure to our flesh, these things that'll gratify us on the earth, but not what our Father wants for us. And we know these things are bad for us because Paul tells us in Galatians that the flesh is contrary to the Spirit, and it produces these bad fruits, and they're visible in the way we live. That's why when you see someone with that new thing that you wanted, maybe that new laptop or something, or that new car, we get covetous of that and we want it for ourselves. Or let's say your friend gets a promotion at work and it's the one that you've been wanting, the one that you've been working for. And instead of being happy for them, you're jealous and you say these bad things in your head about them. And although you say them in your head, God sees these thoughts as if you were to say them out loud. We know this because on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus tells us that even if you look at a woman with lustful thoughts, that is committing adultery. Or if you have hatred in your heart towards a brother, that's committing murder. See, these things are internal, but God sees them. He perceives them as sin, and He doesn't want that for us. He doesn't want that in us. This is why we have to surrender these thoughts to the Lord. Surrender these things that are taking hold of our lives that we may not even know about to the Lord. Paul says it well in Ephesians 4:22-23. "You were taught with regard to your former life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted in its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self." See, these thoughts are going to keep coming and coming, and the only way to control them is to go at them head on, to go at them with Jesus. That's why we have to surrender this control to Him, because we can't fight this by ourselves. We have to put off our old self, the self that wants us to fall into these thoughts, to have these hatred thoughts, these negative thoughts towards other people, and we have to put on Christ who gives us this peace and this love towards others. See, Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." That means everything we do, everything we say stems from what we put in our hearts, what we fill our hearts and our minds with. See, for me, it was secular rap music. See, I loved it so much. Ever since I was little, I would be singing along to it. It would be an idol for me. It would be something I loved doing. But it was filling me with this impurity, and it influenced the way I acted around others, the way I talked to others, and most importantly, the way I thought about others in my head. See, it wasn't until I started reading my Bible that I realized I had to make a change. I couldn't keep living like this. I had to make a drastic change to put off my old self, the self that I loved so much, and put on Christ. I remember coming across this verse in Matthew that honestly changed my life. Matthew 15:18-20 says, "But the things that come out of a person's mouth come from the heart, and these defile them. For out of your heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false testimony, slander. These are what defile a person." See, after reading this, I knew I had to make a big change in my life. So I cut out that music that was polluting my heart. I cut out everything else that was filling my heart with all these bad thoughts, these bad ideas, and I replaced it with Jesus. I replaced it with worship music and things that honored Him. And I immediately saw a change. The people around me immediately saw a change. See, Jesus was just pouring out into me. He was pouring out His love, His joy, everything into me. And I reflected it in my life. The way I lived is now different. I put off my old self and put on my new self. See, instead of having these bad thoughts towards others, I would want to share my love to them. I would want to share Jesus' love that He showed me to them. And this is the mind we have to have when we talk to other people, when we encounter ourselves with other people. See, even if the person wrongs you, we still have to show Jesus' love, because what He taught me was that love your enemy and forgive them. See, Jesus took this thing that was causing me to stumble. It was causing me to fall back into sin, into this cycle. It was causing me to stray away from Him, and He replaced it with something better, something that I didn't even imagine, something I never would have thought of. And it all started when I surrendered to Him. I fell on my knees, I prayed to Him. I said, Lord, take this from my life. Lord, help me be better. Help me be a better disciple. Help me be a better follower of You. And He'll do the same for you. Whatever it may be, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you need to give up, you know it's wrong, but you just don't want to give it up. Whatever it may be, just pray. Just ask the Lord to take it from your life. And you have to surrender to Him. You have to put Him first. Be obedient to His word. And fill your heart with things that'll help you grow, help build your relationship with Jesus. We have to draw near to Him so He can draw near to us, a topic that we've gone over multiple episodes now. The main message is draw near to Him so He can draw near to us. So as we go on, let's not have these negative thoughts controlling our lives anymore. Who cares what the scientists say about the percentage of negative thoughts in our minds? Let's switch that. Let's turn that around. Let's show them who Jesus is. And let's do that by guarding our hearts. Let's do that by submitting to the Lord and letting Him fill you with His love, His peace, His joy, His everything. Let Him change your life. Just put on the new self.